Good morning, welcome back to the Gilbertson Aero Factory. Today is Sunday, the 7th of April, 2024, which means this is the third or fourth consecutive day of building after many consecutive months of not building at all. Today is going to be a continuation of riveting on the top skins. Yesterday, Aaron was a big help. We figured out how to rivet as a team. We got 2 ribs done, which doesn't sound like a lot when there are 14 on each wing, but the first pass was just kind of learning best how to communicate and what the feel is like. I'm always used to, doing both. So what the feel is like to be just bucking while somebody else is riveting. The rest of it will go much more quickly, although it is still hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rivets to do. So Aaron will be here later on this afternoon. This morning, I am going to load up as many, if not all of the rivets that I can, using some tape. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll see how far we get. I'll be stoked if we get all of this done, or if I get all of this done by the end of the week. So, thanks for being here. Let's build an airplane.
Okay, so no sooner had I recorded the intro for this morning than change of plans. It didn't occur to me until after I got started that the Women's National Championship basketball game is on at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and I very much want to watch that. So, I have used a few different types of tape for back riveting. So I guess I'm not really back riveting per se, but I am loading in rivets here so that we can speed up the process. And one of the suggestions was Scotch poster tape. So I went and picked some up, and that's what you see me using here. It's a double-sided tape. I hate double-sided tape. And at the very beginning of this little sequence, you saw me struggling for what was really like 5 minutes trying to remove the backing off of the first piece of tape that I placed. And then subsequently, every one of them, I left the backing on it. The reason that I wanted to take the backing off is because the tape is transparent, and so you can see where the rivet is. Although that the flush set that I'm using, that thing is like an inch and a quarter maybe in diameter. So even leaving the backing on that tape shouldn't have any trouble getting more or less centered over the top of the rivet head. So what I've done is I've moved a bunch of clecos so that we're not doing a cleco every other hole. I'm doing a cleco every third hole along the ribs, and then along the main spar and the aft spar, I'll do 2 or 3 open holes between clecos. The aft spar, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. I just want to make sure that that it's snug, but I'm not going to be bucking those rivets. Once the skins are on the rivets along the perimeter, so the outboard edge, the inboard edge, and the trailing edge, once the wing comes off the stand, I'll just do those with the squeezer. So yeah, I'm loading. I kind of wish, I guess if I had more time yesterday, this is what I would have done. Loading up the rivets like this, it not only will it speed up the process of riveting, especially when working with a team member, but this is an opportunity to make sure that the right rivet size goes in every hole. You have 4 different rivet sizes that you'll use on these top main skins. The bulk of them are the AN426 3.5. And then you'll have some longer ones because the wing walk double. I misspoke in yesterday's video. The wing walk doublers are not the same. Those rivets are not the same size. They're AN426 3-4. So at any rate, this is an opportunity to really carefully and deliberately go through and make sure that every hole has the correct size rivet. And that will actually speed things up later on as well, because there will be less sort of running back and forth to the rivet call out and second guessing. The only rivets, excuse me, the top of each rib, or the forward end of each rib where it meets with the main spar, those all have a cleco in them, and they will have a cleco in them because they're only, though that is a unique rivet size that's only used in that location. And so we'll get everything else done, then I'll go back and do those. And those are, I forget the length off the top of my head, but I think that they're AN 426 3-5 maybe, because you have the skin, you have the thickness of the main spar, which is substantial, flange, and then the rib flange. Yeah. So while it didn't seem that time consuming, this was an hour and 15 minutes to get this one wing done. Yeah, an hour and 15 minutes to do what I'm about to finish up here, get this entire wing loaded up. Had I decided that I want to take the backing off of all of those pieces of tape, which I may still have to do, it would have taken me 9 hours. I cannot. I hate double-sided tape. I struggle so much to find a little edge to pull the backing off of it. So when we do get to riveting this, we will do a little experiment and do a couple of them with that backing still on the tape and see if there is any difference between with it and without it. I suspect it's not going to really be much of a difference. By the way, the reason that it was suggested to use this Scotch brand poster tape is because it peels off really easily. It's safe to use on painted walls and drywall and whatnot. I've used regular Scotch tape just because I had run out of the other tape I was using. Don't do it. It's easy to put on. It is a huge pain in the ass to take off, and you'll spend a lot of time with a tiny little picking little pieces out that get stuck down inside around the circumference of the rivet, down into the dimple. Not worth it. The first tape that I used, and again, it was just a thing of convenience, was when I was back riveting the stiffeners onto the rudder and the elevators. Yeah. I had hockey pad tape. So think about it's like a thick Scotch tape. It's a thick, clear tape, and that actually worked pretty well. There wasn't a lot of mess with that, but as you might suspect, there's not a hockey emporium or anything like that where I am here in Conroe, Texas. I bought that stuff up in Pittsburgh when I was working up there. Anyways, what I'm doing here is I've got a little bit of extra time, so I thought it would be a good idea to just go ahead and get the left wing skinned, and the way that I just described in the other one, which is the cleco pattern that I'm using. Get this one completely skinned and ready to go so that whenever, maybe tonight or tomorrow, I can roll around on that stool and load up all the rivets on this one, and we'll be pretty ready to go for some pretty productive riveting sessions. But because of today's sports festivities, I think that will have to wait until tomorrow. Thanks for checking in. See ya.